Ongeganga, ongeganga, hingingana, diggingana, squash banana, ongeganga, hingingana, diggingana, squash banana, ongeganga, hingingana, diggingana, squash banana, ongeganga, hingingana, diggingana, squash banana.
Hi guys, it's me, Sam, and today's storytime video, if you've read the title, is the scariest thing that happened to me when I was 11. Or basically, how I saw my uncle passed away a long time ago, back when I was still in elementary school. Now, if you're wondering why I'm telling this story, is because it just came to mind a long time ago. A little bit of short story of how this came to mind was I was thinking about that moment back when I was 11, when I was at my grandparents and that happened, and I realized how it correlated to the death of my uncle, one of my uncles, from that time. Like literally, it was crazy. It was almost as if it was giving me a sign or something like that. So basically how the story happened was back when I was 11, I was, and like most children, I was a very energetic kid. Had a lot of energy, had fun at my grandparents' house every chance I got, and I would play a lot of video games and eat a lot of candy. Basic childhood stuff. But one day, my mom told me, "Hey, you're going to your grandparents this weekend, so feel free to bring your new game console and stuff over," which was my GameCube. It had Smash Bros, a few other games here and there, and this is before the time I had a save cartridge. So yes, I was one of those people who had to struggle playing the game without being able to save. So I brought my GameCube over, and not only that, my uncle's N64, my uncle still alive's N64, is actually was there as well. So if I was done playing my GameCube, I would play the N64, and I would be happy with it. I had a bunch of games for my GameCube. I had Sonic Adventure DX, which is the director's cut of the original Sonic Adventure. I had Simpsons Hit and Run, Smash Bros. It came with my Switch. Not my Switch. It came with my GameCube. I believe I also had Chibi Robo. Wait, no, I had Chibi Robo. I also had Metroid Prime, and a copy of Metroid Prime Echoes, which is basically Metroid Prime 2, but that broke. It was a demo anyway, so I didn't really get much out of it. And I also had a copy of Twilight Princess, and I believe another game, not exactly sure, but this is way before I got my save cartridge. And well, Twilight Princess and Resident Evil 4 was way before I got my save cartridge. So as soon as I got those games, I got it. But the other games I mentioned, that was what I had before I got it. So if I was rolling my GameCube, I would play my uncle's N64, and the games I always played was GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, and there's one racing game that he had, and Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I would play the crap out of those games, but the problem was I never really got far in Ocarina of Time because, well, I did get far, it's just that it wasn't far to the point where, hey, you know what you're doing. As a kid, I just freaking didn't bother with the story. I just ran around and did what I could, and it somehow managed to lead me to the next objective, which was nice. So one day, at my grandparents' house, when I went there, I started playing the N64 because I ordered my GameCube. And I was playing, I believe it was Perfect Dark. Yeah, I was playing Perfect Dark, and I got to the Area 51 mission. And I got stuck on that mission, and it took me a minute to get past it because you had to do some stuff in order to actually complete it, and I didn't know about it. All the other missions were like dirt simple. In fact, I played on the easiest difficulty. And everybody knows in GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, the harder the difficulty, the more objectives and different scenarios you'll go through. I recently found out that in Perfect Dark, if you were to play the mission where you had to go to that, I think that Vista, out in an island, on like a hard difficulty, you play as a negotiator instead of sniping from the mountain, protecting the negotiator, which was a big difference to me. And I knew there were other objectives. I didn't know it would change scenarios. But aside from that, I was playing Perfect Dark, got to the Area 51 mission, got stuck, and I decided to call it quits. Went to my grandparents' room since their room was the only place that had cable at the time, so I could watch some cartoons. Was watching Boomerang, Cartoon Network here and there, and then all of a sudden I got tired. So I was like, said screw it. I lay down on my grandparents' bed, and a little while after watching a little bit of Ed, Edd n Eddy, I passed out. I'm having this weird dream. I don't remember the dream entirely, but I do remember I was just, minding my own business, talking with a couple friends from my imagination. I don't recall exactly who they were at the time. I do remember their faces, but I don't recall what their names were. All I know is I was just having a conversation with them all willy-nilly in this dream, and that was it. All of a sudden, for some reason, as I'm sleeping, I started to get this weird feeling like someone was in my face. Like, literally, they were, like, nose to nose. Like, they were so close, they were practically nose to nose with me. And the feeling just felt so strong and so... It wasn't evil, it was just... There was just something there, just looking at me as I was sleeping. And I decided to ignore it. That didn't work because it got stronger and stronger to the point where I said, screw it. I'm going to open my eyes. I'm going to see what the heck is freaking staring at me. No, I could have thought it was anything. I could have thought it was my grandparents. I could have thought it was my mom picking me up early. I could have thought it was like some random family member decided to pay a visit and had the key to the house and then decided to see if I was asleep. That would have been the case if I didn't say to myself, I was staying there for 3 days for the entire weekend. I was home alone because my grandpa went to work and my grandma went to work, and nobody was nearby to come pay a visit. So all those factors blew past my head, and so I said to myself, what is staring at me? So I opened my eyes, and I thought I was going to see nothing. But no, I opened my eyes quick enough to see a black figure. Not like black as in charcoal black, like literally matte black. I mean, like black versus brown. And I saw it, along with like parted hair. Now my grandpa, he's balding a bit, but he still has a decent amount of hair to where he can make himself look good. My uncle, however, he's bald down the middle. He has hair on the side of his head, and he's bald down the middle. So I recognized the head, but I couldn't see the face. The face was completely gone because I was laying on the bed, and it was slightly below me to the point where I couldn't see the face at all. But the second I blinked, the second I made my first blink, it disappeared. Now, no, as a kid, it freaked me out. I was wide awake for like the rest of the day after that. Went back to watching cartoons, went back to playing video games, still couldn't pass that Area 51 level, and did all the willy-nilly till my grandparents came home. I never mentioned it to anybody. Fast forward, I believe, half a week later, I'm being picked up by my mom, and since I'm 11, I believe I'm in the third or fourth grade. So I get picked up by my mom, and I'm in the car. I'm all, just thinking about myself, minding my own business, thinking about my homework, what we're gonna do home, what's for dinner. And then my mom says, hey, you had a good day at school? I was like, yeah, totally did, Mom. And he's like, yeah, that's good. It's good to know. Your uncle, Uncle Herbert? And I was like, yeah, Uncle Herbert, the guy who gives me sugar cane and has bees he takes care of. And my uncle does have like a small sugarcane farm, and he takes care of bees. That's why, if I mention this now, you'll understand. Like once in a while, whenever he comes down, or whenever my grandparents come by, they say, "Hey, I got some sugarcane for you from your uncle." I was like, "Oh, that's cool," and I got some like a jar of honey. I didn't like honey, but I didn't grow to appreciate it after a while, growing up. But yeah, he used to give us a lot of sugar cane and a lot of honey. I used to chew on it a lot. It was the best thing about being my uncle. Not because I had an uncle who had a farm, but because he would give me stuff, and that we would just bond over him and a sugar cane farm. When my mom said this, it stabbed me square in my heart, but it gave me closure on what the hell I saw back when I was 11, back at my grandparents' house. So she said, your uncle passed away, and your grandparents notified me just today, and we don't know what we're gonna do. Well, we don't know. He passed away pretty quickly, and it's kind of upsetting. I was like, at first, I was in shock. Then I was confused. Then I was angry. Then I just became solid because I was like, okay, the shock was, oh, he died. Then the confused was, wait, when? Like, how? And the angry was, dang it, he died. That sucks. That sucked so much. And then the sadness was the realization of the outcome of what else would happen since he passed away. And after finding that out, I made the brief connection that it was my uncle that I saw, but I wasn't exactly sure. So I moved on, and once I turned like 13, I mean in like the fifth, maybe the fourth, maybe fifth grade at this point, I go to my grandparents, and my grandparents make a visit to Uncle Herbert's house, and I was with them. Specifically, me and my grandma. My grandpa was still at work, and I'm sitting here in his house, and I just feel this very uneven presence. Like, it was more of a, I feel miserable being here. And whatever is here, whatever spirit it was, it felt miserable that that its life that it had is gone now. Which I'm like, shoot, that's just a bummer. Now that I think about it. And when we left, I just kept thinking about like my uncle being gone, and I wanted to see him again. And now that I'm older, I've realized the whole connection. Me seeing my uncle at the age of 11 when I was sleeping in that bed was just him paying one last visit to me while I was at a young age. And people can say that spirits are very, very connective towards children, young age children. I'm talking about like 12 and below. Nothing 13 and above. Because the second you get older, that's when the connection starts to drift. And it's just I didn't not only didn't I expect him to die, but I didn't expect him to see him after he died. And it's creepy too, because at first you could just play it off, oh, I'm just seeing things. But no, if someone tells you after a couple days of you seeing something similar to somebody, and then someone the next day, the day after that, or a week from now tells you, oh, so and so died. What are you gonna say? What's gonna come to your mind? Are you gonna be like, shoot, or are you gonna be like, did he just pay the last visit that he could with me before he left to another life? Which was the most messed up and scariest thing I've experienced as an 11-year-old. The scarier thing was freaking that one dream that I had a long time ago. It was a previous Storytime video. But yeah, that's basically what happened. When I was 11, I saw my uncle for the last time in his spirit form, and I find out that he passed away half a week later, which was a big bummer. A big fat bummer. But at the same time, it made me realize, it gave me closure. It made me realize, like, the connection that some people can have with spirits, even at a young or an old age. You can have a connection with spirits as strong as a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old or someone. It's just that powerful and interesting, and it makes me think, wow, it's that if that's the last thing they do, then they really care about someone, which is which is actually kind of heartwarming, but at the same heartbreaking. It's like a mix of both. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this storytime video. I know it sounds a little sadder than most of my videos, aside from Minnie's dog, Jags, passing away, but it was just a story that I wanted to get off my chest because I wanted to make a storytime video on this, but I couldn't because since my dad's back home from Chicago, I'm afraid he's gonna charge in and interrupt me doing videos, which can happen. He's done that a lot, and the main fault is me because I don't really warn anybody. But yeah, I wanted to get this story out to let you guys know, like what happened when I was 11 and like the creepiest thing that happened when I saw my uncle for the final time. It was so weird but so interesting. And also, I'm also releasing this video because I know that my channel has gone through a slight content drought. It's mainly because, aside from school, I also have, as I said, my dad interrupting me and my siblings, but they're out doing something right now, so I'm home alone and I'm able to do this video. So yeah, I also got a special video coming out this Friday. Well, it's depending on when I release this video, but today is Wednesday. But this Friday, I got a special video coming out, and you guys are gonna like it. I mean, I did less editing on this video mainly because I wanted to get it done and out of the way because I was worried that my siblings and my dad would come back from when they went out and did stuff, but I just had to get it done, and if the video doesn't do that well, it's probably because of my editing and most of the stuff feels like out of place. But it's gonna be a special video, and I hope you guys will enjoy it when it gets released. So I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you guys enjoyed.